Okay, we are streaming. So we are back to F1 Manager 22, and you will probably notice that this isn't exactly how I left things off after the Baku race. Largely because I didn't save it after the Baku race, and apparently, while I was able to run off the autosave for the previous run to do Baku, my previous save was before we did the slow Monaco race, which, you know, not ideal. So I had to redo that, and obviously everything since that point. On the plus side, there was a safety car in Monaco, and we were able to actually snag a podium for Magnussen. So he's doing pretty well, and we are well above target. I might also have done some of the developments slightly differently. We had a chassis, which unfortunately, despite me manipulating engineers to try and get it quicker, is still going to be tomorrow, which means I'll have every part of the car upgraded in some way, shape, or form. And in fact, if we just to compare to the Alfa Romeo, who I think are one of our closest rivals, we're mostly above them. And if we look at the Mercedes, who should be ahead of us and still kind of are, there's some parallels. We can beat them depending on the track, I believe, but obviously not likely to be Canada, which is a street circuit, but it's a street circuit in the same sort of way as Azerbaijan. It's a high speed. It's very much a high-speed thing, and even looking at this, there's only one slow-speed section, which we are the fastest car in, but that's it. This is far more rewarding of the medium and fast high-speed sections, and we just don't have that necessarily in our pocket. Still, hopefully, the aim is still double points. I think we can definitely get that for both drivers these days. So let's go and quickly do our thing here. I'm going to gamble on both our drivers reaching Q3, and we should easily reach Q2. We are not likely to get fastest lap, and we are still on our finishing position streak. So, qualifying, we need a driver in the top 14, should be fine. That one's quickly reset. We have a finish position hot streak, which will resolve itself in 2 races. Top 11 for both. And then we get a bucket load more money. We are doing reasonably well on the financials, actually. In fact, I'm actually just looking at our facility upgrades here. We have a factory that's building in 9 days. That gives us a few car development upgrades. What's that to give us? Development speed, which actually might be a bit more critical than I thought it was. I'd like to get the engineering thing up, but I think I need to get it up 2 stages to get more engineers and, you know, accelerate our development speed a bit more. It might even be better for us to just upgrade these facilities, as expensive as that is, and make our relative upgrades better. Hello, Egan. Yeah, as I've explained, but you might not have been here for, we had to restart the last 2 races, or at least I did in the background just to get us to this point. We're going to Canada, which is low-key one of my it's probably one of my favourite circuits on there, but it's never talked about as one of the great circuits, even though I think that's doing it a slight disservice. Canada always throws up interesting races. There's always the risk of weather because of where it is, and it is a fast street circuit, which you can overtake at, which, admittingly, we have too many of those these days in F1, but it's the one I like the most. Yes, I think we did this in the F1 racing game because this is one of the, as I say, this is one of the better circuits, and I do like it. But anyway, let's go and actually do our initial setups then. So car parts, let's go and take off the engine to the heavily worn and now getting a bit terrible practice engine. And the gearbox is going down. We're probably going to have to keep on with that though. Setup. So, as I say, it is high speed, but the technical sections demand stuff. So we'll go with something that looks a little like that. Maybe add another click that way. And a run plan of 22 rather. Hard tires. Yeah, you've got an even worse engine. But hey, it's fine. It's practice. You don't need to be fast in practice. And a gearbox. Unfortunately, that gearbox is completely done, and it's like the brake, and we don't want to lose that on that. It won't blow up on you yet. Absolutely. We hope. It shouldn't do. I don't know what the tolerances are for this game officially, but it shouldn't do. Alright, we're going to go with this. Again, I'm assuming it's more high-speed nature, but we might actually need the downforce to be a bit higher. Either way, we got plenty of scope to go either direction for this. Let's watch the dots spin round and round and round for a few hours. Apparently there have been some patches, so the various bits now actually work. Cars are more likely to get out of our way, rather than just block us in practice and qualifying, which would be nice. The weather apparently also works better because previously when there was a red flag or something like that, the weather the time just sort of stopped. So it didn't track weather movement through the 20-minute gap, but did track it for sort of race ending times because races can only last 2 hours apparently. Also, hi Carol. So in the meantime, going easy on hard tyres, we're 2.5 seconds off the pace, which is probably about right. But again, practice is just watching dots spin around and getting the setup fine. Also, having slightly broken parts does affect the speed quite a lot. So we're not getting good practice performances, but practice means nothing. It's just about getting the car set up. We do have a new component, although I can't for the life of me remember what it is, because I was rushing a chassis to try and get that done, which hasn't come on the car yet.
Sounds like we've had a spin.
Well, settle down for the nice watching the dots spin round and round and round. Absolutely. I have seen some really silly crashes at Canada specifically because somebody was pointing this out and I think it's been patched out now. But there was a really, really silly invisible wall crash that they will occasionally do. Hopefully it'll happen. But just for amusement's sake. Okay, that's also 5 of 5. Reconfigure. Right, so what did we learn? We learned almost nothing was good. Okay, that's fine. So double click and double click. We're just basically going to add a little bit more downforce than we had previously, and now we'll do the adjustments into the thing. That's probably fine. That was near enough. Good. We're going the other direction with that, but that should be okay. Hard tires still. Off you go.
How's your balance?
However, apparently this is correct for Schumacher, so okay.
It was okay. Yep, understood.
Reconfigure. Also, I'm going to shut off my phone, which is something I have not done in a forever time. Okay. So we want the oversteer in that position or as close to it as possible, but let's go and do a couple of clicks down. Change that across, and then it's just minor adjustments to try and get that back into the right position, which is not easy. So we can get that to there. I think we'll try that, although I don't think this is going to be a huge increase. Although it's only 53 now anyway. Off you go. I've also decided to actually start making a log of the actual setups I do. I know they change per driver, per track, but in theory this will give me a good starting reference for when I get back to this next season, if we continue on this beyond one season. Also, still no times 32. Would love a times 32. Oh dear. And yes, I'm streaming. Also, didn't check, but there is a possibility of weather, but our accuracy is terrible. I actually invested in an upgrade which takes our accuracy from 60% to 70%. Which doesn't feel like it's going to be that big a help, but hey. I'm also useless at any kind of weather strategy anyway, so fine. And yeah, this is one of the adjustments they did have here. So, as you can see here, the actual delta is just the amount of extra kilos of fuel we have, rather than the extra laps, which was really unhelpful last time. So, now the kilogram... This should be a little more accurate return to work things out. In fact, yes, that 35% possibility of weather we don't want.
Kev, how's the balance?
Okay, so he's happy with that. We're going to keep them out because we might as well get the extra few percentile points of track knowledge, and also trying to get the parts knowledge up to the top as well. Competitor has crashed on track. That's fine. It's not us.
Anything we can help you with?
Does the absence of weather count as weather? Technically, yes.
Oh, Phil. Good. Okay.
Well, there's a debate about whether it counts. If only because I'm questioning whether it counts. Alright. Well, end of practice 1, on to practice 2. So we've got ourselves into the mid-70s, so that's fine. And it's just tuning. So still optimal traction, still terrible. So let's go with one of those, and also now just got to try and put that back to... It probably is right on the line. If that's saying good from that range, this is probably exactly where we want it. Right there. Downside is, I think we might be kicking ourselves off of optimal at that point, but we can do a slight... I was going to say we do a slight adjustment, but I don't think we can get away with that, maybe. We'll stick it with that. Again, we're not after perfect, we're after close enough, because you don't have to be perfect, unfortunately, to getting the however many performance bonuses attached to setup knowledge. I think you only need a high 90. In fact, you might not even need the high 90. We'll find out. Right, medium tire run. Keep all the parts as they are for the moment. What's your adjustment needed? Kind of everything, but at least it's generally better. So let's go flick that up another position. Flick that back to there, and we'll slightly adjust the rear wing just to see if that actually does anything. Might do. Oh, and also 22 laps. I mean, I agree.
Okay, radio check again, Mick.
If there's no atmosphere, there probably can't be any weather. Although I suppose solar flares and things could technically still count. Yep, that would be fine. I mean, the only place where there's a lot of weather but it's consistent would be Venus, I suppose. But only because if you try to measure what the weather is like on Venus, you just get... bleep, or basically dissolved equipment. Which, to be fair, would be consistent no matter how you try to measure it. So, yeah. For all intents and purposes, consistent weather. Also, hurricane force... Oh, there is weather. Right. I mean, I don't know Teresa made that well, but I don't really want to bring her flowers. Would you like horrible death or slightly different horrible death? Absolutely.
Copy.
Alright, let's bring him in. Largely because I do not want them crashing, which they are likely to do if I keep them out there in this. Question, I suppose, is it going to be into wet or full wet? I think it's going to be into wet. I mean, there is more chance of them crashing in theory with this, but, you know, we need that set up. We need all of the bonuses we can get to stay top 10, top 10. Well, top 10 with both drivers anyway. Oh, dear. And it being Canada, there is always the chance of rain happening. Alright, let's bring you in then, because setup's done. Reconfigure. So, where are we now? 93. 93 and most things are optimal. So, we'll do a couple of tweaks that won't affect the front and rear wing. But I think if we actually go to... tires are fine, send you out. There's always the chance of a geese attack. I suppose there could be, although probably not some of the year. This is the Grand Prix take place in the summer, generally speaking, so I suppose, technically speaking, they would be around. Who knows? Alright, reconfigure. So, you haven't got into the 94 range, but it is best thus far. Okay, let's angle up the rear wing. Yeah, so I'm trying not to adjust things too much, but I think this might be what I want to do here. Give that a try, see what happens. Is it still going to be interwet by the time we get to this point? Who knows, because I didn't plan this bit out. It should be. And we have a competitor crashing on track. Perfect. Looks like it was Bottas. We don't mind that too much. Just for purposes of showing something here, we're going to have a lap on board with Mick Schumacher just to show what Canada is like. So, start, finish straight. This is where he just crashes immediately because I'm following him. But hey. Dash down to turn 1, always interesting start, and then you got this long, fiddly, technical section which he's taking relatively slow and easily here. Full acceleration into a blind chicane, or a near blind chicane, which is always fun. This then opens up a bit into the first of the hairpins that are on this track. This one's not as, you know... Oh, that's Sonoda, not us. Yeah, I suppose it's not really a hairpin. That is more of a chicane, but I always consider that the first sort of hairpin here. Then we get onto this, and this is kind of the important chicane here. If you're not in a position to overtake somebody by this point, you're probably not going to make it. This goes down into the proper hairpin here, which you have to get absolutely right because it's all acceleration from here. All acceleration, and then we have the chicane, followed by the Wall of Champions, thus named because of a number of world champions who have collided with it. It is right there. And we darn near collided with it. But now that we've done that, I've shown off a lap. I don't have to do it again, and we can just go straight on to the rest of this. Oh.
Copy that.
You're fine, you didn't crash. It's all good.
Sounds like someone's locked up.
Yeah, no incident there. Nothing happened. Well, certainly was going to do that on the lap we were on him, but you know, thankfully that didn't happen. I mean, to be fair, there have been non-champions who crashed into that wall, but, you know, the number of world champions who have is quite astonishing. Also, future champions, which is why every time somebody new crashes into it, who, especially, you know, if they haven't had a lot of races or in a low team, we always then start bigging them up as the next future champion just because it happens and because F1 fans are superstitious. But hey. Yeah, it's going to stay this wet until the end, so might as well keep on with this. Hopefully we get this final setup point. Excellent. So Madison says, great, 93. 73, so that's actually gone down for Schumacher there, so we've got some things to work out. Could be a little stitious. Yeah, indeed.
How is the balance? How's the balance?
Okay.
Okay. Copy that.
Our race weekend.
Alright, practice free. So let's revert it back to the 9084 that we had, and then try and adjust things the other way this time. So we'll do that click, we'll do... do that, we'll do that, and then I'll adjust the front wing very slightly, I think. Yeah, we'll go with that. Alright, soft tyre running for the rest of this, and 21 laps. So you're pretty much as good as we're going to get. However, that's still... I mean, it's still 93, but apparently this is a worse 93 than we did last time. What did I do as my minor adjustment? Okay, let's do the inverse of that and take this up to 55. Again, it doesn't matter that if we get 100%, it's... as long as he's high enough to get the maximum bonuses allowed through the setup. Which we should do.
Ready check, Kevin.
Radio's good.
What's the weather doing in this one? Based on our 60% accuracy, not a lot.
It's not raining.
Copy.
Oh, apparently the rain has stopped from yesterday. That's a delayed radio message and a half, but okay. And also got to make a note of actually what Magnuson's setup is when by the time he gets back. If it's an improvement, obviously we'll take that. We are indeed back to the vroom vrooms, or rather the watching the dots spin round and round and round and round and round, because unfortunately we have to do that for practice.
Read on the balance and things.
It was okay.
Okay, we get one more setup
Yep,
chance.
understood, Mick.
Let's reconfigure. What are we looking at here? Okay, that's optimal, that's bad. Why did I not adjust that back, or did I just completely miss that was happening? I might have just completely missed that I was doing that. Okay, new set of softs, and say go.
How's the balance?
Still 93, we can't improve this at all.
Yeah, okay, Kev.
It's fine, we're just going to reconfigure, put him on a set of soft tyres, and... I mean, we can always revert it back to this, but apparently just no point in adjusting this. This just works. Let's do a very minor adjustment there, and then put that back to roughly where it was there, I guess. Try that, see if that does anything. On the basis we might as well.
Did somebody spin out there?
And as soon as we get Bottas up to 90... As soon as we get Bottas up... Actually, we could get both of them up to 100% and just leave it there, I suppose. I guess the only... No, we'll keep them out. I was ready to bring them in and just not risking any crashes or anything at the end, but actually we do kind of need the new setup option, at least on Schumacher's side. So we might as well see if we can get this as maxed out as possible. Well, that new engine is going to have to account for a lot if Schumacher's 2 seconds off the pace at the moment. Oh yeah, as I say, it's really... I know this is basically how it is, but 3 practice sessions feels really long. But if I leave it to the AI, it really is a problem, because I don't think the AI do it correctly, and they use up too many sets of tyres. So they don't do it in a way I like, which means I have to do these manually, which is a pain. But, yeah. If it was just 1, I'd be alright with it. Similar to the way most Sport Manager does it. But hey. Once it's done, so... I mean, to be fair, if the setup actually meant a little more than it seems to right now, then maybe it would be worth it, or at least that's a bit more of a challenge involved with it, but I don't know. Anyway. It is fine. Schumacher's saying great, so let's put that into the 82. He's had a better one than 82.
Okay, understood.
And we did get Magnussen up to 95.
Kev, how's the balance?
Okay. So with all that done, let's go and see how much faster we are with things. So we are missing 1 point of our performance bonuses, and I think it's yes, the setup counts for 9, but I think we have enough there. So or maybe we don't. Maybe it is a higher percentage than I gave it credit for. Either way, though, 13 rather than 14. So in terms of the actual increases, more or less there. I think 1 braking score for ultimate speed and 1 reactions. So it's there, but it's fine. All right. Also, light rain for the race. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right. Okay. So we need to put a new engine in the car. We're going to put in our new-ish engine. The ERS is still fine. I think we're going to actually keep that. Actually, we might need that on Schumacher at this race here, so we're going to risk it. We're going to put the newer ERS in. The gearbox should be fine. So we'll go with that, and let's revert back to our 84 setup that we had. Okay, and we have 3 sets of softs for this. Car parts, again, just making sure that you have an engine that won't disintegrate on itself. Everything else is in the 40s. I think we should be fine to send Magnussen out with these. But maybe we just go brum brum and just try to... yeah, okay, we'll go for better stuff. Eventually, we may have to pay the price and actually take some new stuff, but we'll worry about that later in the season, I think. Let's start qualifying. I'm curious to see if cars get out of the way now. So we are going to do Magnussen out. Wait 3 seconds.
Radio check.
Schumacher out, and unfortunately we're going to get stuck behind Alfa Romeo doing this, but hey. I am curious to see if they get out of the way correctly here. That being said, there's nobody in our way this time, so I think this is just going to be a typical quali run. And we are ahead of Zhou. Magnussen's ahead of Russell and Bottas, so that's not bad. Mick's got a bit of performance to find, but that's doable. Keep Magnussen on the same tyres. We might adjust Schumacher, but I don't think we're going to need to, given where we are on things. Let's go with the worn tyres for the moment. Because he's a long way ahead of Vettel Latifi at the moment. And being ahead of Zhou, I think we should be fine. I mean, that's P3 for Magnussen with run 1. Admittedly, the Ferraris haven't gone, so P5. So we're in good shape here. Alright, let's wait and see how they come out, and then we're going to basically make ourselves the last runners here. But yeah, 5-10 out of the first runs. I think we can afford to send them out on worn tyres and keep an extra set for Schumacher. You might even make it into the top load. We'll find out at some point. Alright. Slow this right the way down. Speed 4. Wait for the last car to go. You go. You go. It's a short lap. 1:11 to basically fastest lap, so he's got enough time to make it round. Alright, let's watch Magnussen at double speed do a qualifying lap. Again, on worn tyres, he might be able to improve, but he probably isn't the one who needs to. Also, will we get across the line in time? 15 seconds. Yeah, we'll get across the line. There we go. Start-finish line is here. He had 8 seconds in hand to get across the line. We were fine. Also, I only just noticed the comment, but yes, Hamilton did that to us a few races back. Alright, so Norris is still behind Schumacher. I think Schumacher's then going to be safe for Q2. Lost a position, but that's not a problem. Schumacher apparently didn't record a split for Sector 2, so fine. And he's able to go up to 10th with that. Magnussen did make a minor improvement on his second run. Well, okay then, 5th and 10th. I would absolutely take 5th and 10th. Alright, quali 2. And we have 2 new sets of tyres to get Schumacher out of this session, so let's see how this goes. Top 10 go through. Schumacher out first.
Radio check, okay. Radio is good.
4 seconds, and out goes Magnussen. Haven't seen anybody come out to deliberately block us yet. Ah, here we go. Right. Now this car's in the way and traffic. Now they should, in theory, be better at getting out of the way. I don't know from that whether they did or not. Magnussen? I think Magnussen's still getting blocked. No, that's not helped him. Okay. So, yeah, their improvement didn't appear to do a lot that time. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is why we had a new set of boots. Okay, so as long as we leave before 150, we should get a lap in, and we do need it with both drivers now. It being a short lap, I don't want to go before anybody else does. It could go now, I suppose. Oh, okay, they've started. Hopefully we're giving Schumacher enough time. Really hoping we have. Otherwise that's going to be embarrassing. But hey, you got 1 lap to make it work. Let's see what you can do. All of his times will almost certainly be improvement because unfortunately traffic, but... So Magnussen 21.6. 21.8 for Schumacher, 2 tenths down. Should really have some comparative things up, shouldn't I? This actually is pretty good for this. So, 21.6. 21.7's from most of the midfield. Mick's in trouble, I think, but we'll find out. It's a fraction faster than Norris, a fraction faster than Norris. But obviously Magnussen's got to go as well, so really he needs to be faster than Alonso. Middle sector basically in line with that, and Mick goes exactly 10th. 5th and 10th. Perfect. Okay. Let's start qualifying. So, final grid position shootout here. We're going to actually send him out on... I'm going to send both of them out on their one set of tyres to start with, because unfortunately I'd have to use these are newer ones here. Send out, send out.
Radio's good.
Yeah, it's a short lap, so we've got no problems about getting both of them in here. Magnussen then behind Hamilton might have been interfered with a little. I think he was, given that his lap time is in line with Schumacher's, so clearly they are still not getting out of the way correctly. Well, this is why we have our proper set of tyres for the final run. Yeah, Magnussen's got 3 temps in him. Okay, I didn't leave that as late as possible, but it should still be fine. Yeah, the Red Bulls are going to be faster than us, so that's fine. Yeah, both drivers top 10. So this is now just a case of whether, without Hamilton blocking us, we can actually get to 5th and 10th. I think 5th and... Mick improving a lot is going to be difficult, but potentially doable. I think honestly we're just hoping with Schumacher rather than expecting. But Magnussen's proven he can get into 5th. And we want to be beating Bottas. Ideally we want to be beating everybody, but you know, beating Bottas is our reasonable goal for Magnussen. Because it means doing better than the Alphas, who have a driver capable of winning, you know, capable of beating us. No matter what car he's in, I suppose, with Bottas. I'm waffling and rambling, but I know what I mean, I think. Anyway, yeah, we want to be ahead of both the Alfa Romeos, because ultimately they are likely to finish 4th and 5th, which is where we need to finish in the season. And this isn't a circuit that especially suits us, given that we are a low-speed powerhouse, but let's see. Magnussen across the line in 5th. Schumacher, does he improve on Gasly? Doesn't. Because Schumacher didn't have his time really ruined last time. It was just the case of, yeah. Okay. Well, 5th and 10th, which is where we finished in each of the positions, and is probably a fair reflection on where we are, considering driver skill and things. Okay. So, that is fine. We can work with this.
It's time for the final touches here on the grid, ahead of today.
Right, race day. And as you can see, there is going to be weather. So, what is the weather supposed to... Oh god, the weather's going to be almost immediate. Right, if the weather is almost immediate, there is no strategy worth us thinking about here. Really. So, I suppose we can do things. We're going to start on the softs, because clearly we're going to need to be off of them reasonably soon. We're going to go onto an inter-strategy... after probably 7 laps, so we are going to absolutely try and just mince those tyres immediately. I'm wondering if it's even worth starting on the... it's not quite... Our weather is only 60% accurate. This is the problem, but I think this is what we'll do. Oh, how good would it be to have the softs at the end, I suppose, is the question, but we need to do this, I think. Yeah, we're going to be very much changing this strategy on the fly, but yeah, this is going to be fun. All right, let's put in 68 laps of fuel. We're going to obviously... I think we should be able to make some up because of wet weather, in truth. Obviously going to go all-out attack immediately to see if we can gain a couple of positions off the line. And yeah, then we go into the wet weather stuff, and then we see what happens.
Now we should have good weather for the race.
Lies!
Welcome news for the team.
Oh, come on. Tell me my thing is not that bad.
There we see Kevin Magnussen.
Lies. There's got to be some weather here. Look at the skies. It's clearly going to be... Yeah, we might be screwed.
And away we go.
I'm hoping it's lies. Okay, how are we getting off the start? Magnussen's kept a position. Schumacher has gone up to 9th, which is good. We are following Schumacher because stuff's happening here. Alright, we're going to double speed now, but I'm hoping that he's going to make a position somewhere. The main overtaking spot is obviously the run-up to this chicane, usually, and also the run into this corner, and then, of course, the long run down to the start-finish chicane. Mick Schumacher up to 7th. Magnussen up... Whoa! Okay, Magnussen is in 2nd place at the moment.
There's been a crash. Sounds like a
Leclerc has crashed. Okay, that's good for us, I think. Alright. Yellow in sector 1. Is it just a yellow flag? Okay.
They've locked up and gone.
This is fine. Magnussen's fighting for the lead here. Although, admittedly, I don't think we're the... Wow, okay. This might not have been the plan. I know we're using quite a lot of ERS here, but this was probably not the plan. Let's go conservative a bit here on the fuel. Try and cut some down here, because we weren't supposed to fight the Ferraris and take the lead with this plan. We're supposed to just, you know, make the most of things. Okay, so now we've got the DRS train starting up.
enabled.
And I've got slightly easier on things than I was necessarily expecting. Alright, back up to here. So I do not expect Magnussen to be able to keep signs behind him. Why do we always win when we don't intend to? It's more to getting past people when I'm not expecting it, because it'd be faster for us to do that. Rain has started. Okay. Question is, do we go now or do we wait 1 lap?
Got no ERS. Yeah, copy.
Alright. This is early. This is early, but I'm going to pit immediately with Schumacher. Magnussen's going to keep on with doing what he is with the leaders, but I think what we're going to do now is actually start pushing a bit more.
Yeah, okay. And the white line.
Because that's immediately that's almost wet enough now to make it
Ferrari
into some what we need.
race position.
That is a blinder. We should have brought both of them in. So Mick is the first driver on the best tyres. Obviously, have to pit with you as well, Inters. Actually, that's a fair point. What is everybody else doing? They all went on into this. Good, good. Okay. So Schumacher now needs to push and get past now as quickly as he can. Now, I don't mind him producing a little bit more to try and make that happen, but
Copy.
Magnussen needs to start harvesting as well.
Someone spun out.
Norris spins. Is that a safety car? No. Alright, come on. We need to not get held up behind these drivers who are on the wrong tyres. There we go. See, this should be us now going much faster than everybody else with Schumacher. And clearly we are. I mean, alright. Empty battery, fine. Harvest and see what we can do. But that was basically our sort of attempt to try and keep on with this.
Charge on. Copy.
Weather's going to be consistent until about there, so we can't go too heavy on the tyres, but obviously we want to push this lap. Everybody in the pits, except apparently Hamilton. Hamilton, you mad lad, what are you doing? Mick Schumacher into 4th. Darn it. It did jump Magnussen, but I think for the basis of this, we're going to allow Magnussen through because we know Magnussen's going to have better pace. Okay. So that was good. That was extremely good. We've basically managed to use the web for our advantage here. We are effectively P3 and P4. Because Hamilton has not stopped and is just going to fall so far behind now. The question is, obviously, trying to save some fuel. Oh, no. We have, 3 and 4. Hamilton has the pit. On completely the wrong tyres. So now we're going to use Mick as a bit of a rear gunner here. And just try to maintain the gap to Vettel, of all people. So Vettel, obviously one of the other drivers who did this as well. Completely out of position. The Aston Martin is not as quick as the cars it is currently ahead of. So, yeah, this is just our time to try and get our fuel back under control.
So overtake is available if you need it.
Get our batteries back into a good position.
Charge off.
Copy that.
And see how long we need to go into this race. Because basically our cutoff point is either going to be here or it's going to be here. Depending on how this goes, we might need to go fully to lap 45, 46, and then move on to dries, or go on to a different inter, based on how this is looking. But, obviously, the more tyre tread we have, the more options we have, which is why Mick's going a bit calmer at the moment on the tyres. That being said, once Russell gets within about 2 seconds, I think we want to, we'll stop doing that. I'm not expecting Mick to necessarily hold back Russell here, but it'd be useful if he did. And yeah, already the closing up here. Let's go to times 2 speed and just follow Mick Schumacher. And let's do the fun thing of looking right behind at the driver trying to catch us. Yeah, so that is a faster car than us in terms of top speed, in terms of medium speed cornering. The only advantage we got is the one slow speed section on this. That Mercedes is faster than us. But is Russell faster than... Yeah. Russell is definitely faster than Mick Schumacher, but, you know. No DRS, because it's raining. It tends to get disabled. And we are still saving fuel. I think this is important for us to do. Obviously, we'll be able to save a bit more when a car's in front of us and we are basically slipstreaming them a bit. But it's important for us to save now and try... so we don't have to worry about trying to do this at the end of the race. Alright, let's use our ERS a bit defensively here and see if we can... That's going to actually drain it too quickly looking at this. Alright. Let's see. This is the long straight speed into the Wall of Champions dive. Russell did not die at the Wall of Champions. Okay. We're then going to get balanced and we're going to try and stick with him, ultimately. So as long as we stick roughly with Russell, he was going to drag us along. We can save fuel behind him without having to go full conserve. And hopefully he's going to be good enough to do that for us. Maybe. The important question, I suppose, is Magnussen still pulling away from Russell here? It's about 7 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on that as the laps tick on. Obviously, there'll be certain sectors where we're faster and he's, you know, slower than us, but that's fine. Also, we still need to conserve fuel behind him. We've had almost half a lap and we've not actually improved our fuel burn. So let's keep going conserve here. And yeah, we're still pulling away from Russell. So Magnussen is faster than Russell. That is good. That gives us options. It's just a shame that Schumacher isn't quite at the level to be able to keep up with him. And unfortunately, we are not saving as much fuel as I would like. Also, without DRS, we don't get the immediate speed boost down this for being within a second of him. We just are hoping that we are able to somewhat stick with him. And as mentioned, their car is faster in a straight line without DRS advantages. Well, I think that's about all we're really going to be able to do at this point of a strategy call. Vettel is keeping the other fast car of Perez behind him, so that's good for us. So the longer that goes on, obviously we're faster than Vettel, so that's allowing us to extend the gap that way and potentially have things go a bit more in our favour. But as you can see, yeah, Schumacher already now 3 seconds behind. Perez finally gets past Vettel, and I imagine that's going to be Schumacher eaten up in about 5 or 6 laps. But we'll slow it down when Perez gets closer. Meanwhile, Weather's still a thing. And Magnussen now... Oh no, actually, Russell is closing on Magnussen. That's 3-second gap now. But we still need to save some petrol. God, then I always misread these. It's never good for me. Alright. So Schumacher now has the much faster Red Bull. It didn't take that long to catch up to us at this point. Let's see what people's tyres are like here. We are slightly better off than everybody else, but not by enough to really make a significant difference here. Yeah, and Russell's about a tenth quicker than Magnussen each lap. But we're doing okay here. Schumacher's nearly at the point where we can actually go back to normal fuel usage. And I think actually we can afford to do this here. 0.5 in 45 laps is not a problem, really, but Magnussen obviously needs to do a little bit more of a slow burn if he can. I'm just hoping that if Schumacher can stick a bit with Perez, then that will naturally eke off that half kilo. Also, Perez has shown he wasn't able to get past Vettel very easily. I don't know whether that's because the Aston Martin's good in a straight line. It might be, but it's all too good of us. Leclerc's still in 16th, having done a really silly thing at the start. Obviously had that crash and went behind us, and then I think was late getting onto into tyres, so he's having a really bad race. Oh.
Yep, understood.
Well, okay. Harvest and we'll see what happens.
Oh, big lock up there.
Alright, Magnussen. We might need to start thinking about picking up the pace soon, but let's keep it going. Free yellow flag would be for us. I guess the question is Vettel going to catch Mick? Because he shouldn't be able to, even with us doing conserving things here, but... I mean, 3rd and 6th is an absolutely epic achievement for this team if we could finish it like this. This would also be podium number 2 of the season, because technically I got one in Monaco, not that it was on the live event, but I did get one. Maybe it's worth deploying. We don't have to worry about ERS or DRS ranges, but... Also, I just realized we're massively ahead of our targets positions at the moment, so let's go aggressive on both. Start actually seeing if we can eke out an advantage here. Because obviously, I was thinking about these guidelines, but really, we just need our tyres to still be kind of there on lap 45, which is when we might have the question mark of where we go. And the way it's going at the moment, we're actually going to be able to go right into this secondary period here. The question, I suppose, here is this going to be a heavy enough rainstorm to force us onto wets? Hello, Leon. We are doing some wet weather shenanigans and have moved Schumacher up 4 positions in the process by doing so. Magnussen has gone up 2 positions, having fought for the lead in the very early laps and then just immediately being second to pit. Would have been even better off had we have pitted immediately. But unfortunately, our pit crew's being slower than everybody else's, and our position at the bottom means we have to give way to everybody. Weren't able to keep positions. And yeah, as you can see there, Sainz is just 15 seconds ahead of Verstappen, 12 ahead of Magnussen. But now that we've put... Oh. Okay, don't push while the track is technically dry. Ha. Well, we know the rain's going to come soon, so there's not much point in us just, you know, pitting and going into dry tyres for a little bit. 2 laps, we'd lose too much time. But we don't want to cook our tyres at this point. Because this is when they overheat, when they're out of their proper window. In fact, if we go onto the wheels here, you can see that the tyres are actually fine. What is the operating window on these? I mean, they're still getting warnings for yellow at the moment, or whether that's just their normal temperature things. Yeah, so 80 plus is a warning level of temperature for these. And the good news is now that the rain's picked back up again, we can now go back into pushing.
Okay, perfect. Let's get back.
Also, I was about to say good news, but Mick hasn't quite got there yet. Mick almost at the point where we can actually put him back to normal fuel usage. Meanwhile, back to Magnussen. I mean, he would be, but we fired him to replace him with me, remember? Alright. So, pushing, we are faster than Russell. We know that, but obviously we just had a couple of laps off. I would love to be able to just tick our fuel usage back up and just make sure of it, but hey, we got 2 seconds is enough. It's enough in hand, at least. And of course, we can do an ERS push lap if we need to. Well, I'm assuming that's what happens. He's not part of my technical team, if nothing else, so... Okay, so we're getting a couple of attempts with the current setup, which I'm happy with. This is fine. I would like this 0.5 to start going down, though, because it hasn't in some time, and it's slightly concerning. I have run out of fuel before in this game. I don't like it. Okay, 0.4. They're fine. As long as I saw some movement happening. Schumacher is at correct fuel usage. Okay. 0.0 for Schumi. Near enough. We'll give him a little more time, but actually no, we won't. Let's go normal. Not that Schumacher's really fighting anybody. He's miles ahead of Vettel and can't catch up to Perez, so he's in no man's land in 6th position. Which, to be fair, no man's land in 6th position is perfectly fine for a team that's aiming for top 6 as a team. So, and we are pulling away from Russell with the current state of affairs. So, okay, let's have a quick look at how our tyre wears are going here. So Magnussen is definitely going to make it to... Oh, I've realised why. For some reason, he's pushing hard on the inters is what the strategy is for that tyre. But obviously, Magnussen is a standard push, so that will get us right to where we want to go, which is right here. And we're already above that point. So just extrapolating for... Extrapolating for Schumacher, I think we're fine with both cars. And gap up to 3 seconds now. So the question is, are we going to catch up to Verstappen? I really doubt it. So really our race is just holding on with Magnussen for this 3rd place. Perez isn't really closing on Russell, actually. I thought he might have been, but he's still 5 seconds behind Russell. So this is genuinely it. It's whether we can fight Russell for 3rd place. And Vettel is just... Yeah, now that we've actually put Schumacher up to speed, Vettel is just nowhere in comparison. Although that is Hamilton right behind. So it's Hamilton versus Schumacher for 6th place that I think is going to be our long-term worry. But again, we have capacity. We got full batteries on both. Not significantly. 74 and 72. So it's yes, but Inter tyres are designed to basically last until the track dries up again. Basically, it's a weird thing. They just run the treads until there is no more treads and then use it as a dry tyre. It's very weird. The wets are completely useless, but the inters can be run really, really, really hard. Although how that reflects into this game, I don't actually know for certain. Multiple car crash. Okay. What has happened? Where? Safety car. Right. Where's Schumacher? Please go in. Yes! For Schumacher, absolutely. Probably not for anybody else. Hamilton and Vettel hit each other. Vettel crashed. Hamilton has a penalty. That is perfect for us because those are the 2 people fighting for position. But yeah, a fresh set of inters basically gives us... Oh, I should have sung the crash. Hold on. Events. Darn it, it's not going to let me do it. Yeah, we're going to say with that. Because it was Hamilton closing up on Vettel. And Vettel was in a great points playing position. Alright, so I'm really sorry I missed that. But okay, we then need to conserve and we need to harvest with all drivers here. Because this is a proper safety car. So might as well save some things. I'm about to say, where is the safety car at the moment? It's in a really silly position.
So overtake is available if you need it.
The entire field now. This is a bit of a problem as well, because we didn't want this. Actually, I'd have been quite happy for him to go immediately, but hey. So, Mick could go to end on his tyres that he's currently on, which is fun. Magnussen will have to stop again, and obviously we were thinking about this last 6, 7, 8, 9 laps. But let's see. Aggressive push. Aggressive push. We're going to burn that fuel we saved up here.
Okay,
Double deploy.
Try to increase the pace a little bit.
Copy that.
And we are once again going for the race win.
We'll go to high fuel now.
Alright, let's see what happens here. Actually, let's stick with Magnussen because that's the problem. The problem is we've got so many lapped cars in the way, but this is what we're going to try and do.
No overtaking until the timing line.
Yeah, copy.
This looks stupid. Okay, let's go. Get out of our way, lapped cars, please. Alright, Schumacher did get up to 5th. He's got ahead of Perez somehow, and that's Russell. He's right behind Russell with much fresher tyres and willing to attack. And obviously we can and might as well, so... Well, yeah, Mick can go absolutely all out at this point now. Magnussen, we're going to have to obviously ease off of it. He has got himself up to 2nd.
Position for Haas.
Magnussen up ahead of Verstappen. Be curious to see how long this sticks for, but obviously gonna try and stick with it here. Schumacher up to 4th. Come on, we can get Russell here. Lapped car in the way. Deploy the spike traps, absolutely.
Haas with an overtake.
A podium I actually shown, because technically as mentioned, I did get a podium with my repeat of Monaco, but of course I had to... That doesn't really count if I had to recently redo the video to get that point and just got lucky with the safety car. Alright, but there's absolutely no reason Schumacher shouldn't be pushing here because, yeah. And he's got the 2nd clear of Russell, so he's definitely going faster right now. Also, we don't need to be able to burn fuel anymore. This is good, unless it suddenly changes, which would be bad. Let's find out. Okay, weather check. Light rain all the way up until about lap 58. So, as I say, the big question is ultimately, does Magnussen have to pit? And if he doesn't have to pit, who does? I'd love to conserve a little bit of ERS here, but I really want to keep this on because Mick Schumacher is actually pushing for a 3rd here. Because he's closing on Verstappen. That is a gap that has come down to a 2nd. Below a 2nd, because that's the bit where we're the fastest car on the grid. We've just gone through here. But this is, technically speaking, a chance for us to go 2-3. And if I conserve ERS, we're going to lose this chance. So we are sticking with this for as long as we can. Also going to take off the don't fight teammate thing, and I might have to invert that, because if Schumacher's going faster than Magnussen, we need to change them round. Alright, come on, Mick. Come on, there's a double podium potentially on here, somehow, in Canada. On the inside, does he have enough? He's got the pace. Not quite, but he's in a real strong position here. So this is the main overtaking point, but we are not the fastest in a straight line. Inside, into the hairpin. We got the inside, we got the outside. Are we fast enough to maintain it without DRS? Oh, Canada! Alright, into the chicane. Wall of Champions. Nope, no, avoid the Wall of Champions. We're good. We are 2-3. And now we're just going to pull away from Verstappen here. And if we can do that, we might even swap Magnussen and Schumacher around here, because Schumacher could be going for the win at this point. If he's faster than Magnussen, it's going to be worth us swapping. He's on much fresher tyres. Can push harder. He's already pulled out a sec. Yeah, no, we need to swap these out. Don't fight, teammate. This is the race. This is the race. Yeah, this is the other thing. Schumacher, we might not stop. If you consider when the dries are coming in, that's now 10 laps, it's saying. 10 laps would definitely need us to be on dry tyres. But we're in the best position possible for right now, so yeah. I don't want to push harder because obviously if Schumacher crashes, I'm just going to be absolutely distraught. But I think we might do in a moment anyway. Yeah, let's go for it. All out attack. Let's see what Mick Schumacher can do unleashed upon Carlos Sainz. 2.7, 2.6. So going all out, we are going to catch him. Can we get ahead of him? Get enough of a gap to get us into the pits at the right moment and then survive on dry tyres against the fastest car in the grid. 2.5. Yeah, so we are... Yeah, again, this is the bit where we are the fastest car in the grid, so that's expected. Magnussen... I mean, honestly, we're burning a lot of fuel here, and we're not... No movement happening whatsoever here. Down to 2 seconds. This is... Yeah, Hagan's ticking it away. Schumacher is going to overtake for the lead if the conditions remain. So comparatively, our tyres are 22% better. I guess the only risk, I suppose, from what we're doing is that the tyres won't last to the end, but I think we're going to have to take them off anyway. So we are definitely going to have to take them off with Magnussen. So I'm going to be happy for Magnussen to push a little harder and gain a gap to Verstappen here. 1.4. There is no DRS while the rain is happening, so no speed boost for being within a second. But equally, we are now within a second. Alright, down to the back straight. No collisions with the wall of champions, please. Okay, all out attack. 0.8. And then the question is, how much can Mick Schumacher push enough to gain that gap that we can go on to dries? That ultimately is what we're trying to do now. So in range, this is the important bit. As long as we're close here, and we can have the inside into the hairpin, not quite, but we'll have a good push potentially into the chicane. Oh, I don't like overtakes through this chicane, but okay, no, he's not done it. That's fine. He's got the legs on it. Is he going to be able to make it stick through there? Not quite. Oh, this is agony. I think we can do it if we get clear of him. I think we get a gap, but we have to get clear of him. Let's deploy. This needs to happen. We don't have a lot of it left, and I was hoping to save some of it for, you know, the dry running, but let's go now. On the outside of the hairpin, empty battery.
Okay.
But we are now ahead of him on the straight. We are not as fast as them in a straight line.
Good job.
Pushed into the outside of the wall, and come on. Come on! Oh, we're going to get pushed out here. Oh, the battle is long, the battle is hard, but has he done it? If we get clear here, I think we can do it. Yes! Alright, we are ahead of Sainz. Okay. Okay, the game plan now is whatever you can do to gain some gap, do it. Alright, yellow flag sector 2, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay, that's fine. There's no DRS, so he's not going to be able to zip past us from being within a second. Russell locking up. That's actually fine for us. That's another car who can't catch us up. Magnussen is pulling away from Verstappen as well, so both drivers doing well here. 19 laps to go. I think we might have to ease off with Magnussen just because I don't think the tyres are going to last if they need to go to the end. But I think actually we are maybe 6, 7, 8 laps from dry tyres. And on that basis, yeah, we need to probably still push with Schumacher. There's a risk. There's a definite risk, but but we need as much of a gap as we can possibly get. Their pit crews are faster than us. In dry conditions, they are faster than us. We need every second to try and give Schumacher his first win in F1. Every tenth, every second counts. Magnussen 2.5 behind Sainz. Is Magnussen actually closing up on Sainz as well? That'd be quite good. Because we could have Magnussen hold up Sainz if he gets past. How are they equal to us in wet conditions? Good question. I mean, to be fair, I can understand us Schumacher being ahead because we are pushing on fuel and tyre wear as well to make this happen. So we might be pushing a lot harder than us. Well, they're not really. But again, if I get seconds, that accounts for the fact that their pit crews generally work faster than us. There is a pit crew skill which gradually increases, I think, as they learn to do things. But I haven't found a way to speed that up or make it better. Anyway, gap to leader 5.3. Yeah, so Magnussen is closing. It's stopping. We know it's going to soon, but it's not stopped yet. I'm going to start having Magnussen deploy a little bit and see if we can actually catch up on Sainz here. Because if I can get Sainz ahead of Magnussen, as Magnussen ahead of Sainz rather, we can technically use Magnussen as a roadblock. .6 is the current gap. Let's go down to aggressive for the moment and let's just see how things go with Magnussen now. Within a second. So, there is the button. Nope. Nope. Our goal was to make Mick Schumacher the world champion. I didn't think we were doing it this season. But, in wet conditions with tyres much better off than anybody else's, we have gotten Mick Schumacher into the lead by 4 seconds, and are obviously pushing as hard as we can because the dry tyres are going to happen soon, and at that point it's then going to be a straight fight. Every second's going to matter. Again, I'm not sure if we've done the right thing here by pushing with Magnussen to his batteries expired, but the hope was if we can get Magnussen ahead, I can hold up Sainz even more. We have enough of a gap to Verstappen that we could afford to get away with it, but you know. But let's see. Are we genuinely faster than him, or is that only because we were pushing? Because I thought we were closing up, just natively, but maybe we weren't. All right, let's go all-out attack, both drivers. Let's see. Rain has stopped on the track. Time is that we now are at the point where dry tires are going to be a thing. .8. 0.7. I don't think we can get Magnussen ahead, but we need to obviously keep an eye on this. I think next lap. In fact, we're going to probably pit Schumacher next lap, regardless. Alright, so we can put him on for softs, which obviously fastest tyre. If we pit too early, it really screws him up, but we're going to go for this now. I might even be tempted to go double stacking here. I think Magnussen, we want to do whatever... I'd say whatever Sainz does, really, but, you know... It's going to be immediate. We're not going to have time to sort of do something if that happens. Yellow flag in Sector 2. No idea where or what that's about.
We've just had a spin.
Sonoda spinning. That's fine. Oh, I would have loved so much for Magnussen to get ahead here. Tyres getting a little warm. We know that's fine. Sector 1 issue, but that's not something I need to worry about particularly.
Looks like there's been a lockup.
Alonso locks up.
Mode push.
Okay, I paused it here because I don't think it's wet. It's not dry enough. Please take note of that. Please take note of that. Okay, so we delayed it by 1 lap. But we're going to split the strategy. It's close enough that I don't think we're going to get punished too much for this, but it might be punishment. We'll find out. Either way, we have tried. One of our drivers is going to win this race somehow. .6. It is now at the point of being... Actually, we can still push hard on these. He's now at the point where the tyres are correct crossover. Magson's going to come out and hopefully be the fastest thing on the track.
DRS enabled.
Obviously, we're on full attack. The tyres won't last that long at that rate, but they will if we do this. So, okay, so Magnussen's clear. Is deploying, but I don't think we need to have that on, so we're going to take that off. Mick Schumacher 5.5, 5.3 ahead of Sainz. This is going to be tricky. But I'm hoping we got enough with the high fuel load usage to keep this going. Alright, come on, Haas. Be good. What is the gap after the pits? And where is Magnussen in relation to this? Let me just make sure of a thing here. Perez is still on Inter, so he's not a problem. Magnussen is right behind Sainz. He didn't... So actually no change in fundamentally between the two plans here. But obviously now, Sainz is being held up by Perez. Let's deploy and try and get ahead of one or either of them here because we don't want to be held up. We need to help Schmidt. We need to help Mick, and he only can do that. No, god darn it. Stop blocking us. You're on the wrong tyres. You would not fight this hard, Perez, if you were on the wrong tyres and a race for the lead. You have more respect for this than that. Alright. Mick Schumacher. 3.4 seconds.
Okay, Mick, let's just put our head down.
10 laps to go. No battery.
Nice work, Kev.
We're happy with you pushing. Copy.
Alright. I suppose the equation now here is Magnussen able to hold Verstappen back? Is Mick able to hold Sainz back? Let's also make sure that upfight teammate things is off, just in case it has any lingering effects on things. Okay. 10 laps to go. Gap is 3.9. Sainz is quicker than us. DRS is also going to be on soon. And at that point, if he gets within a second of us, he's basically clear of us. We are obviously pushing on fuel, which helps. Max is doing the fastest lap of the race right now. Magnus has just stolen Schumacher's fastest lap, but actually that's encouraging. Let me just have a quick check on what the last laps were. 116.8, 116.6, 116.2. Battle is on. .8. If he's only gaining about a tenth a second a lap, 2 tenths, then we've got this. A 1-3. If Magnussen can actually get up to the back of Sainz, well, we'll see. Sainz is quicker, but not by a lot because of the way we're currently doing things. Our tyres are going to be questionable at the end, but I think they'll last. Obviously, yeah, the strategy is based on what they... No!
Yeah, good.
Okay, understood.
We can take a look now. Right, watch this. There's Schumacher. And that spin is undoubtedly going to cost them time.
We need a back off.
No damage to the car, thankfully. But, okay. Alright, Magnussen. You are the fastest person on track. We know this because you are currently going faster than Sainz, although he's going to have more tyre grip towards the end of the race to hold this off. We need something to happen here now. I'm taking Schumacher back down to easy because I think we need to. Oh, come on! Come on!
They've locked up and gone straight on.
I think it's realised we're Haas and that we shouldn't be here. Okay, that's a little annoying. Alright, we are 4.8 seconds ahead of Verstappen, and now that's what we got to worry about here. Magnussen should be faster than Schumacher, both in terms of the way we got the car set up and things are going on. Oh, that's annoying. I mean, to be fair, we are pushing, which does mean they will make mistakes more often, but Magnussen is pretty good at not making them. So that was a low rarity event there. Also, DRS is a thing, so obviously now we've got Mick Schumacher versus Magnussen, and we do not want to take each other out right now. So we're going to say don't fight, teammate, even though I think, honestly, I think Schumacher should have the position, since they both made a mistake. If we get to the end of the race, I might swap them round. Which, you know, as a spectator would be absolutely stupid and unheard of, but I might swap them round if we get to that point. But I think Magnussen's the only one with a realistic chance at closing on Sainz, and even that's not that realistic, really. Just looking at the last lap times, we're about the same. Mick Schumacher faster, but I think that's DRS supported. The good news is we are still extending our gap to Verstappen, and I'm not entirely sure why that is, because Verstappen should definitely be quicker than us around Canada. Faster in a straight line, faster in a thing. And it doesn't look as if Mick Schumacher's fighting, does he? Yep, he's definitely got an order to not fight his teammate that he's obeying to the letter. I mean, yeah, it's fine. I have you 2-3. Best team on the day at this circuit, and this circuit was not supposed to suit us whatsoever. It's not sacrificing to Nurgle; it's more sort of offerings to Nuffle, which is the Blood Bowl god of luck and random variants and things. But you know, yeah, Magnus is not closing in. You know what? May the best man win! Gonna go normal, fuel is as is. Let's just see how this goes. We're gonna enjoy the last 4 laps of these two basically attacking each other now. And they crash into each other. I will take that as a result if it happens. But you know what? It's not fair for me to say no. Schumacher has earned this second place if he can get it. He has earned it. We believe in letting our team fight each other. Especially as this should have been Schumacher's win. And had he not have spun, I think we'd have lasted. He's earned first place. I think he has, in truth, because we put him on the right strategy, but he was able to hold it. Right, Magnussen should now get past him. Because DRS is a thing. But Shimi holds on. 3 laps to go. Maybe we weren't going to hold Sainz back, actually. Given that we're now 8 seconds behind him, maybe that wasn't actually what was going to happen. Oh well. Also, Verstappen's closing in on us here. Maybe this wasn't the best of plans. Magnussen gets past Schumacher. This is expected. 2 laps to go. Magnussen's tyres are in worse shape than Schumacher's, so I think he's earned the right to actually push a little more. I'm definitely not adjusting the odds here, but you know. Alright, Mick ahead of Magnussen at this point. That's for DRS line, which means Magnussen's going to be back ahead of him here. That was not well planned. And we have a lapped car ahead of us as well. All right, final lap then. We're going to go at 1 time speed, and we're going to be on board with Schumacher here as we attempt to fight for the win.
Starting final lap.
All right, so we have a lapped car in front of us. We have Magnussen in front of us. Let's see who is going to finish on the second step of the podium. Either way, it's been a good fight. Schumacher has a bit more tyre grip ahead available to him. That's just because of the way it's worked out. Let's also definitely not do a thing that is definitely not cheating. We're going to put defense on, though. We're going to be this fair. Defense versus deploy. Obviously, last lap, they're both going to go for this. I'm being as fair as I can be within, you know, the confines of obviously making this interesting. All right. Obviously, Schumacher's going to have the DRS on the last straight. Empty battery for Magnussen, and there's a lapped car. So both of them are going to have DRS here. But the battery mattered more!
Okay, we're out of DRS.
But is it going to be enough? Let's have a look behind. Where is he? He's right there. Is he going to make a lunge? Is he going to fall into the wall of champions? No! He avoids the wall of champions! Schumacher finishes second.
And Sainz crosses the line first. He's taken the win.
That's not the story of this race, and you know it.
Yeah, car was great. Thank you. Good job, very.
Oh wow, you are a minute behind. Jeez, yeah.
Over and out.
All right, well, that was a result that we were definitely not expecting.
Flag.
I mean, you saw my pace through practice. You saw the qualifying positions. We just got really fortunate. Went into the pits at the exact right time with Schumacher. Leclerc fell off the radar because the other reason we gained positions is because he just destroyed himself. It's the what ifs. If he hadn't have done that one silly spin, if Magnussen hadn't done his silly spin, both of them could have been ahead of this guy. But yeah, that's 2 podiums. I mean, 6 podiums in a season is actually the team long-term objective.
It really comes as no surprise to see the Schumacher name up in lights.
Yeah, we're not skipping this. Don't worry about this. Because this is at a circuit that wasn't supposed to suit us.
Contest for all 3 drivers, each one securing precious points for their team. Haas there having a very successful day at the races.
I couldn't agree more. It just shows what you can do.
Everybody
All the pits
and nobody.
And after this result, the team is 4th in the constructor standing.
Actually, we were 4th in the constructor standing before this.
Heading back to the heart of the UK. Get ready for a race to remember in Silverstone, the cradle of Formula 1.
So 18 points for Mick Schumacher, 15 points for Kevin Magnussen. The Drivers' Championship now looks like this. Magnussen gains 2 positions up to 6th overall, still behind Valtteri Bottas. And Mick moving up to ahead of Fernando Alonso. So, yeah, this is working out quite nicely for us. And a big chunk of points. We will see. This is more emotionally draining than it should have been. Absolutely it was. We were not supposed to have a shot at winning this. Driver bonuses. Yeah, unfortunately they both trigger. Oh well. I think we can live with that on balance. Alright, our new chassis is designed as well, so that's excellent. In 6 days we get the aerodynamic testing period changed up again, so we'll be able to actually start using some things. Yeah, absolutely exciting. I mean, I've talked down about this game versus Motorsport Manager, but honestly, that sort of thing, maybe there's actually a point to just doing the slow sort of watch along with that. But hey, who knows? Anyway, I'm going to leave that there. I'll do the off-screen sort of technical bits and pieces. I might actually just show what I've done actually for the next time. Probably some point this weekend. Maybe I'll do a double race at the weekend. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I will catch you all then if you are around, and if not, I will catch you whenever. Till then.